Thank you, and wonderful to have a very distinguished panel, before me. The topic this we say is evolution of digital CFO. So of course, as far as CFO is concerned, in last, if we track the journey of CFO and CFO profession, the role of CFO in last, let's say 10, 15, 20 years, it's always been evolving, and especially in last few years, this has evolved much faster than what we even imagined. But probably, that is what was really required. So we reached one goal, we reached one place, and then we thought, okay, what next? And something, I really love to say is, ज़िंदगी एक मुसलसल सफ़र है. मुसलसल is continuous. So ज़िंदगी एक मुसलसल सफ़र है, जो मंजिल पे पहुँचो, तो मंजिल बढ़ा दो. I think this is completely true for everybody, all of us. And we have, Abhay is an entrepreneur as well, apart from, being CFO. He knows much more about this, that life cannot stop. You reach one milestone, you have to go for the next milestone. You keep disrupting yourself. As I said, probably today self-disruption is much more necessary and required. And I see many friends, in the audience who have completely disrupted themselves, going from very cushy corporate jobs to being an entrepreneur is not so easy. Even sitting in the corporate world is no longer a cushy job, so to say, The way it has changed, the way it has, I just talked about and Chatanu talked about, and we just heard about technology and technology coming and impacting our life. It's absolutely very important for all of us to embrace that. And how we have grown from a role which was more of a keeper role, looking at the financial statements role, to more of a strategist role, to more of a catalyst role. I think that is what is completely changing the landscape. And we are truly at the cross-section of technology and finance. Fortunately, as CFOs, we have a very, what I say is a helicopter view of the organization, where we are looking at each part of the organization, because it has to ultimately come together in the financial statements. Even financial statements are undergoing complete change today. What used to be there maybe a decade ago, the kind of investment-heavy balance sheets today are completely different. To give an example, if a manufacturing company invests maybe 100 crores or 200 crores, goes to my balance sheet, right? It is investment. I buy some equipment and buy some land and so on. Compare it with a platform-driven, company, or, internet companies, or what should I say, really not internet companies, but more like tech companies, technology companies. When they put in this money, it goes to their P&L account, right? So it completely changes the nature of the balance sheet, and you have to deal with it. We all hear so-and-so company makes a loss of 1,000 crores or 500 crores or whatever, versus if it had gone to the balance sheet, it would have been seen more positively. And today, sometimes when you don't understand and say that the company has made 500 crore loss, there is a tinge of negativity in this, unless you really understand that this is also an investment, right? So how this role of CFO is evolving and changing over time. I have a wonderful panel, a very heavy duty panel actually, and I'm very keen to listen to them and understand from them, from their experiences, of how they have embraced the digital, how their roles have changed over a period of time. So Raki, I just start with you. How do you think, in your view, the role of CFO has evolved, especially in the digital context?
Okay, thank you for that question. Can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So definitely, if you look at a modern day CFO, today's CFO, and compare the CFO to what it was probably 15, 20 years back, I think first of all, CFO's role today is much, much beyond just bookkeeping, taxation, or budgeting, or just providing data to the organization. I think one of the most important priorities of the modern day CFO is digitizing the finance function itself, right? There was a Gartner survey which was out in 2023, which said that 83% of the CFOs think that digital transformation is one of the topmost priority for them. It was for 2023, and I'm sure it is going to remain that way in 2024 also. So with digitization of finance function, there's also upskilling or reskilling of talent within the finance function which CFO has to manage. If I talk about my organization, in our finance team, so we have our finance team, where the finance technology team is integrated within the finance function. So basically, the technical teams are integrated with the business functions. So if I talk about finance function in my organization, about 50% of the people, the employees are technology folks within finance function. So this was not something which CFOs were earlier managing, right? They were not managing technology folks. Now they have to manage technology folks, looking at what kind of career growth opportunities can be provided to them, how they can be upskilled to meet the requirements of the present day challenges when it comes to technology. So that's second thing. Thirdly, I think CFOs are focused quite a lot now on providing a lot of real-time data analytics and using technology there. Because now everyone wants data like yesterday. We can't, so we have, in our organization, we have these hundreds of dashboards which are owned by finance team. So basically CFO is the one who's responsible for getting them out quickly. Like all the revenue data is updated early in the morning. So the whole management team is sitting there, and they want finance team to get it out real time. And another funny thing here is that we have one dashboard just to see how the different dashboards are being viewed by the different departments. So that is also something, that keeping a track of dashboards itself is a big task. But honestly, data analytics is a huge thing that falls under CFO's area of responsibility. But besides that, I think besides the digital transformation just within the finance team, besides that also, CFO is now getting very actively engaged in driving digital transformation across the organization. Starting with maybe, initial assessment of the digital transformation projects, and then regularly monitoring it, what are the ROI, whether we have really been able to achieve the benefits out of these projects organization-wide. So CFO is getting more and more involved in all of these aspects of the business, and it's much, much beyond just the finance.
Yeah, I think that's very, very important, statement that you said, that from outlays to outcome is basically what we are really looking at. I come to you, Hitesh. What are the critical technologies, that CFOs are integrating into their operations, and how is this impacting the decision making for them?
So first we talk about technology. So the all concept of AI, ML, everything resides on the data. So let's put some context to data. Any idea how much data we are generating on daily basis? So now we always talk about big data. So big data has three components which we call about three V's. It's variety, volume, and velocity. So now everything is generating data. Even if I am talking here, my phone is listening. So this data is being generated. And I put the context to this data is close to 2.5 quintillions. So just to give you context of quintillions is 2,500 lakhs GB of data we produce daily basis. So this is being analyzed somewhere. Coming to what CFOs are doing in terms of which technologies we are taking care of. So it starts with data analytics going to big data. And now this is being taken care by the new generative technologies, which is AI and ML. Coming to context to our organization, we did one AI ML technology related concept, which is an RPA, which is an extended arm of robotic process automation. We did in our order booking process and dunning reports, all these things being done by robots. So when I say it's a robot, it's a machine working 24/7. And RPA is being transitioned into IPA, so which is an intelligent process automation, which not only takes care of routine tasks, but also takes decision. For example, one of the tasks is sending consumer reports basis some threshold. If that threshold is breached, then it's again send a trigger, it takes a follow-up, it reads the mail, and then update another system. So this is one part. Also what we are currently looking at, so it's not in our Magic Bricks, but I've seen in my peer groups, they are moving towards a DeFi, which is a decentralized finance, which is a cloud-based program where most of the companies are now investing in the cloud base because it's easy to scale. So just to summarize, on the big data part, AI/ML technologies, RPA, IPA, and cloud-based. That's new things that we are taking care of.
Absolutely. Abhay, I just come to you on this. We talk about analytics, business analytics, and business intelligence, which is changing the way CFOs are approaching financial planning and analysis. How's that happening? And if you could relate some of your experiences with that.
So good evening, everyone. Abhay Batra this side. I represent Clovia. Clovia is a online and offline lingerie and nightwear, sleepwear, apparel brand. We just onboarded John Players and Lee Coopers also as brands. So we are now getting into men's also. So that's what we do. I am so to answer your question, sir, I will get to the question because we have less time and it's getting dinner time. So I will share my experience. Clovia is always started with being an online brand. So, of course, with online comes, like Hitesh mentioned, a lot of data as to what clicks, and that anyway is now everybody knows because it's been written about so much and people have spoken about it so much. So that data analysis, big data, etc. for online space is something that most of it Google Analytics will give you, right? And when you're on AWS will give you MongoDB. So a lot of tools are available for your online data platform that will give you now. But now that we are coming offline, we are double dipping into our offline business. What we are seeing is that data is becoming more and more important there also. So for example, now in a shop that we open and a customer comes in, via heat mapping, we will check which counter she went to, how much time she spent looking at which bra, and did she pick it up, or where did she put her hand, and did she think about it? No. So that's the kind of data analysis that is happening now. And how do you look at where to deploy this kind of technology? Because end of the day, it's resources and it's prioritization. For us as a retail company, now today we have 1,200 people only manning the stores, and we are a small company. So managing those 1,200 people, because every half hour they're away for a loo break or a tea break, you're losing your 10,000 rupee revenue. So where they are, and this is geotagging, geo mapping, etc. is commonplace technology. So for us, it is in fact for a digital company also it is now unlearning and coming back to the basics here. What is your biggest asset? What inventory is lying there? What is my engine telling me? Where should I put which inventory? Yellow color sells better at offline stores rather than online platforms. So those are the technology that we are getting into. You when you go to south, what color sells? What sizes sell more, so you want to stack those more. Where all do you want your warehouse? How quickly do people want their bras, so again, d- for us what we have understood is that technology is important, but end of the day it's a cost which is being incurred to manage another cost. So there has to be some perspective as to what you're spending on technology, because a lot of spend happens just being cool. That at least for us, I don't know, a lot of people here are from tech companies, what they think about, but for us that perspective has kind of really outspoken itself.
So I think for CFOs, in any case, that cost-benefit analysis always plays. And we can't really uh, just deploy technology because it's cool. We have to really see if it makes sense or not. Praveen, I come to you. While we are using all these kind of digital platforms, etc., so then there are issues around cybersecurity. You know, how are you addressing those kind of issues? And if you could share some of your experiences.
Thank you, sir. I think in your presentation, last presentation, you have highlighted. So now they say that the data is new oil, new gold. So wherever there is oil and there is a gold, there is a thief around who is hunting कि कहाँ मेरे को ये gold मिले and other things. So you have to be very precautionary and take proactive action to take the security aspect of the data, because data is the new asset class, and everywhere you are interacting with so many layer in the ecosystem. With a lot of people are access to your system. Lot of people is connecting through API and other things. So the security layer should be very strong and in a different layer. So one has to first, as a CFO or maybe as a CIO or as a company, like I represent a company which like humongous data, total India sales data with us. So we have to take a very pre-active actions and other thing, so that all the data should be secure and there is no data breach and anything. And let me share you, all the time there is a lot of hackers who hunt around and keep attacking the things. So you must have been heard, there is a one security tool people use, DDoS. That's a disrupting this technology, so that when what they do, they through a bot and everything, they kind of engage your total database and not allowing the other person to log in. So that's a one kind of a disturbance. So you have to be very secure for that DDoS attack. And then there is a one kind of a SOC that we operate. That's a security analysis and other things. What kind of a attack we are having? What could be the precaution we should take? So there are different tools, different monitoring system one has to plug in. And like sir said, in every day there are around 2 lakh new viruses coming around, which are being penetrated in the total system. So your total system and the network is very vulnerable for cyber attack. And since particularly for the financial institutions and the people who are in a BFSI sector, who are dealing directly with the money, where the loss, one is that private data loss, one is the master data. But when there is a loss of real money, we have seen that a lot of scam, call hacking, then fraud on your bank account and other things. Even I have experienced in one of my experience that my FD has got broke without the OTP and other things. So those kind of attacks are is happening. So when one has to invest on the technology as a CFO, if you are overviewing the technology investment of the company, so major thing, the other things one has to take care of the how much care you are taking about the cyber security, because the one is the data, and second is the financial loss. If your customer facing has incurred any financial loss, whether you are proactively protected or not. So these days people take heavy amount of a cyber security insurance. So that's a one way of mitigating. Other way, other way is that continuous review of your system with maybe with through the ethical hacker where you have some loopholes and other thing you will get to know. You should have some SOC kind of a things. There is a one product is called SMAP, security monitoring analysis tool. So that is being taken care where you have continuous attack in your system, then you will get to know that in what process there is a lab. So those kind of with a modern tool, when your data, your system is so much of a vulnerable, so you have to be very protective. We have seen that, and in fact, you must have been heard that last year or some, when Bangladesh bank was totally hacked, their total data was hacked by the Nigerian hackers, and with a they asked for so much of a ransom, and the government has to pay that money. Total bank's data they have hacked. So those kind of a risk is there, but when you innovate, when you go into some new technology and adoption path, so one has to go fire along with this, and one has to take the proactive action.
It's a constant race, actually,
Even the sir has said, like Gen AI, with the Gen AI, the risk of cyber attack and cyber security has increased manifold.
Yeah.
So when you are going to adopt the Gen AI, you have to vis-a-vis see the risk association and what kind of a cyber security step you need to take. So because you are taking the things from the open source and there are so many other things. So that precaution one has to take.
Sure, absolutely. We talk about zero trust. So it says, in God we trust. Everybody else has to come with proof, right? So absolutely, you're right. And those technologies and policies are absolutely quite. Hemant, in what way these technologies have enhanced the CFO's ability to make strategic decisions, especially in the times of uncertainty?
थैंक यू जोगेंद्र. अगर एक वचन में बोलूं तो गति ही, द्विवचन में बोलूं तो गति, बहुवचन में बोलूं तो गतियः. In all three cases, it is gati or speed. So effectively, what has changed, what technology has enabled everyone on the planet is to take a decision with speed. Decision sahi hoga, galat hoga, I'll come to that later. However, what it has done is it has not only set expectations that you need to take a decision with speed, it has also given you data which is more live. There's a pitfalls bhi hai bhaiya. I mean, if you talk of your own life, if I wanted something from my mother, she would say, ठीक है, पापा को बोल दिया हूँ, and शाम तक वो बता देंगे. Today, if you're in a meeting, your significant other will text you on WhatsApp, and after 2 minutes you will get a call. Acha, you have read my message, but you have not replied. Whom were you chatting with? You were on some other window with someone else or what? So, you see, those are the pitfalls also. There is so much of intrusion. But in your professional life, what it has done is it is giving you live data, right? Which is more coming with more speed. And sorry, I'm not as tech savvy as Hitesh. No. What is the word you used? 2.5 lakh gigabytes. 2,500 lakh gigabytes of data is what we are generating, right? Now, on a daily basis. Now, if that is the kind of data, someone is mining that data and giving you an output. The expectation is that you will also take a decision with that speed. Because time and tide wait for none. Even if you are going to your customer, what is your customers doing now? They are asking you to get onto a reverse auction. Gone are the days when you would submit a bid and wo khulegi bid and you can influence it. It's all on a reverse auction, visible. Ek ghante mein you're done and dusted. Okay, at the end of the day, within 1 hour or 2 hours, depending on kis tarah ka reverse auction hai, whether you've got the order or not. The point is, if you are not clued on to your data, you don't know when to back off from the reverse auction, you're dead. Because if you have put a bid, you were not accurate, your data was not live, you would end up giving a higher bid. Or if you look at it from a reverse auction point of view, a bid which is far lower than what you can sustain. And you will be a loss making. If you walk away, you are blacklisted. Or if you don't know, and there's someone who's an aggressor, and he's giving very aggressive bids, and you, even though you could have gone lower, but you've maintained yourself at that level, you lose the contract, right? And you're none the wiser. So there's a big, big risk that is sitting there if you're not A, live with data, B, you're not, you don't do anything about it. It's both, which technology is enabled. And lastly, when you take a strategic decision, it's not only about data. Data is only one component. The other is your gut. Only thing technology has not been able to do is to, your gut is experience, which is your RAM here. वो RAM अभी तक change नहीं हुआ है. That RAM has to be upgraded too, I guess, at some point.
Maybe we say the day is not far. So let's just hope. Hitesh, we're talking about hyper automation and the likes. In this, with this kind of hyper automation, how do you streamline financial processes and enhance overall efficiency? So let's talk about our own profession also.
So the benefit of this automation, technology, AI, ML is it's not new. So
And maybe if I can just, say that in the interest of time, let's keep it for 2 minutes.
Yes, it's okay. So I'll keep it shorter than that. So we know all technology what we are using as a CFO, like mostly it's leading to automating various tasks, be it RPA, IPA, I said earlier. We are also using technology for a predictive modeling purpose. The main thing which comes is, which is not mentioned here, is the workflow automation. So now workflow automation are quite enhanced. As per my experience, what I see as a technology benefit it's coming, it's nothing much to unlearn. It's more to learn. So I will just give you example. If you know about Excel, I suggest you go to Google and just search for Jupyter Notebook and Python. So Python seems to be a kind of a good technology which is not to be understood, but the advantage is Python is based on a collaborative approach. You don't have to write anything. It's available everywhere. You just need to put context what you want. Even in the age of ChatGPT, you are confused. If you learned about ChatGPT 3, ChatGPT 4 is coming, 4.5 is coming, then Cloud A, Bard, everything is there. But for CFOs, I suggest you should go and download Jupyter Notebook and Python libraries and just put command to see what is there. You just need to change certain context. And trust me, the work which you used to take 2 days, it will be completed in 5 minutes. So I myself has done a lot of these kind of intervention in our system where a lot of these things are automated by the use of Python. So I rely more on the Python one. But yes, if you need to do something about workflow automation or cloud-based accounting, you need to take in help of an expert. But this thing you can do yourself.
Yeah, good. Absolutely. Abhay, with the AI and these technologies coming, there is a skill gap which is getting generated. So how are you addressing that skill gap in employees?
So, I have two examples here. One is that a lot of the people from ops teams are going on to become product team guys. So product is the bridge between business and technology. So I handle operations also. So I know that finance is one, but operations are the people who really know what's happening in the business. So they are the ones who should ideally be deputed to decide other than financial functions, of course. They can't tell you how to value inventory, but uh, so that's one bridge that we are trying to create, and that's a continuous bridge. And in my in 2023 itself, we would have transferred 7 to 8 people from ops to product, and then of course, like Hitesh is saying, a lot of people today are learning languages like Python and Django, and these are available for free online, and a lot of folks have the energy, unlike people like us who are too busy fixing numbers. But that is one. And second, as the finance guy, and and this everybody has spoken about. In fact, you were also mentioning that 50% of your team members are tech team. So there is a specific team that works in my team, which only does third-party integrations and business front integrations, and only figuring out what is to be automated on the workflow, on the process automation bit. On the number automation bit, that's a more technical bit that a lot of people haven't yet solved. Most people are busy automating processes. So I don't know, and I'm yet to learn on how financials are being automated.
Yeah, absolutely right. Praveen, with these kind of rapid technological and digital technologies which are, evolving, how do you navigate the complex landscape of regulatory work?
See, what I think that any regulator, they are one step ahead than the technology embarrassment. We have seen the example of GST in India, like merging 26 VAT, excise, service tax, and everything on a single platform. It's a humongous task that the regulator, I can say that the policymaker has done. Like, so they have a vision that we need to get everything on a digital platform. So it's a one example. Likewise, like total, we have seen the example of e-invoice again. It's again how you do your business. So total B2B transaction is on a digital platform. You know, there is no need of issuing a invoice and anything. You can track everything. Likewise, we have seen that Bahan application of total your challan and the transport department does. And e-way bill. E-way bill, by introducing the e-way bill, the regulator, the policymaker has increased the output of the transport community and truckers manifold. Earlier, one truck has to stop at the every naka for the check post and other things for taking them out. So by e-way bill, that thing has gone. So people, the truckers community, the truckers travel from Delhi to Bombay in a half of a time earlier, which was used to take. So those kind of innovation, whenever there is a technology enhancement is there, so the policymaker, the regulator, they kind of take a forward step. And if you see the digital policy that India has driven, so it has a future roadmap for next generation and other things. So we have seen that India has taken a step for digital chip making. So everywhere, the regulator, and in that way, we have seen that in income tax as well. Income tax, they have come along with the income tax 2.0, where everything has auto-filled. You need not to fill anything. So So those kind of innovation is always there in a different segment. I was working in a project with the DGCA where all earlier pilots has to fill their flying hours and everything, and this is as per the requirement. Now everything is auto-filled, how much flying time they have, and so all the regulator, everywhere, wherever there is a regulatory aspects, so it is getting more streamlined, more manipulation for the people.
Absolutely, absolutely right. Rakhi, to what extent are CFOs adopting cloud technologies? And when we talk about cloud technologies, then some of the questions which come to my mind is data security and compliances. So how do you deal with that?
Okay, so I think honestly, the kind of world we are living in, I don't think I can think of any other option but to work on cloud technologies, right? Simple technologies like your emails, Microsoft that we use, that's on cloud. Almost, a lot of organizations use Teams, Microsoft Teams. So honestly, it's very difficult to think of life without cloud now. And of course, it has a lot of benefits, and I think finance teams are also embracing it quite well. Better scalability. If you want better scalability, faster scalability, you have to go to cloud. On premises is still not as quick as cloud. So I think, and also what I have read based on various surveys, almost, if you talk about companies which have more than 1,000 employees, more than 90% of such companies have already adopted cloud technology. And finance, of course, has to keep pace with the business, and finance also has to adopt such technologies. But of course, the degree of adoption within the finance function could vary, from 10%, 20% to 80%, 90%, depending on the organization. But of course, with that comes the certain other compliance requirements. There are data breach risks. And again, this is something which has to be managed by the finance team mostly. In most of the organization, compliances falls under finance team. So having the right internal controls in place within the organization to handle data which is on cloud, that's very important. Then also keeping pace with the compliances, and as Praveen ji also said that regulators are one step ahead. So we have seen in the recent past regulations like GDPR, General Data Protection Regulation, which came out. Since we are an European company, we had to do a lot of assessment to be ready for that. So finance function has to stay ahead of the curve here. They have to keep themselves updated on what kind of regulations can have an impact of them because of cloud adoption. So keeping updated, that's another thing which is important for finance.
Yeah. So final word, Hemant, comes to you. How has this digital shift influenced CFOs to adopt more customer-centric financial strategies? And what are the challenges associated with that?
Yeah, this is like, whether you like it or not, one has to change. Because if finance is not going to change, the company is looking at loss of revenue. Now, we have heard this thing, customer is king. ठीक है? हर PPT में कहीं ना कहीं somewhere you'll find it written, customer is king. Till a few years back, it was just lip service. In most of the cases, I'm not saying in all. देखने में अच्छा लगता था, that was about it. But what technology has done is forced you to make two changes. One, in your processes. Second, in your attitude. Okay. And I'll tell you in quickly about both. So let's take what is the biggest thing that finance would do opposite a customer in the good old days. Credit देना है कि नहीं देना है, ठीक है? You will go to some website, or if it's a publicly listed company, उसका data निकालेगा, you will take a view on the financials, and you'll say इसको 30 दिन देना, I can't give you more than 30 days. And then there will be this negotiation which happens with sales, कि whether it should be 30 or 60, okay? Then came some people who would, you know, you didn't have to access ROC or wherever, they would give you that data, company ka data, okay? Now, what has happened is, not only is the company data, but whether the company is in compliance with its PF, whether the company is in compliance with its gratuity rules, whether the company's directors have a case going against them, all that is now available at the click of a button. Okay, and it's transparent, third party. They also put a risk. You can have a mechanism, yeah, above average risk hai, to isko we can give up to 45 days. It's become like a click of a button. The earlier process used to take you at least 3 to 4 days. I'm being generous.
Yep.
Today it's 3 to 4 minutes. In 3 to 4 minutes, you have to decide what credit you can give. And it's transparent. That sales wala will still crib, but when you show him that data, he has to back off. Right? So that is the first change. Second change, this is the process change in your attitude. Okay, मैंने बोल दिया, बस. That doesn't work anymore. Today, I conduct post-sales and pre-sales reviews. Okay, I go into the CRM, I start with what was your target, each salesperson's, what was your target, where are you landing at, okay, what is the delta, which are the top 10 customers whom you are failing. Now let's talk, how many customer visits have you done, okay, where's your geotagging, that is on pre-sales. Post-sales में कितने customer complaints आए. So I am doing that. Now typically in the good old days, it was sales stroke commercial. Okay, today sales and commercial and finance sit together and conduct those reviews because the data is available at the drop of a button. You click into CRM, you click into your data lake, CRM and your accounting system is all there. Aapka run rate, aapka pipeline. Now, if you have a win ratio of 10%, then you jolly well need a pipeline of 10x against your target.
Thank you, friends, and it was a wonderful discussion that we have all had. The time's up, showing up. So I would definitely thank all of you, and thank you all of us. Thanks.
Thank you very, very much,
Maybe we can have
panelists, for an insightful exchange of ideas and strategies that will shape the role of CFOs in driving innovation, resilience, and strategic value within organization. I would request Jugender sir to offer these jade plants as a token of appreciation to all our panelists. At Strategink, we express our gratitude in the most sustainable way. And right here on the screens are the certificates of the plant that Strategink has done in your name. Thank you very much to all our panelists for being a great speakers today. Can we keep it all bright? Can I please expect a big round of applause for all our panelists? Thank you very much, Mr. Batra. Can we please stand together for a group picture with our jade plants?